This is Toby from the Analyst Academy, and then it's glad that we are here today to actually begin this life-changing session. It's quite a discussion that is going to, affect us positively, in our career, in our engagements, and in whatever things we do that has to do with our engagements, entrepreneurship, and bringing positive impact to the society, and also being a very good, impactful people. So like I said earlier, my name is Toby. So it's very good to see everyone here today. All right. So one of the first things I will be doing today is to really just talk about developing a winning work ethic. Developing a winning work ethic. So I really want to believe that, we have some among us, we have those who are, just as the flyers gone out about the kind of people that should attend this webinar. We have some who, are just graduating, some who are currently doing their, NYC, some who are probably just, after school, post NYC, and, just as graduate trainees in some organizations. But then the struggle has always been that how will I continue in this my career pursuit, or how will I, move on, in this career pursuit, or then, I have a lot of interest. That might be a problem too. We have a lot of interest, and you're trying to, pick on what interest to take. That is one. And again, sometimes you are in an organization. Okay, let me just give a particular story that will help us or put this into the right perspective. So I was in an organization before, and then I had of a particular staff who was there. So now the staff was actually passing or working, she was just passing by one of the staff rooms, and there was a glass cup that was placed at the tip of the table. So while she was just passing by, in a way, she, came in contact with that glass cup. What happened was that while she passed, while her body just, got in contact with that glass cup, it fell and broke. The glass cup fell and it broke. Then the boss was there looking at the whole situation. So now the first thing the boss did was, he looked with shock. He didn't see anything. He just looked with shock that, oh. But the next thing that the staff will say is that, oh, who is that idiot that kept this glass cup here? I can actually tell you that that staff lost a job that day, because the point was not that the point was not about the person who kept the glass cup there. The point really was you should take ownership for allowing the glass cup to fall that place. Or probably while you were going there, you should just mind the way you are going to pass that area, or just possibly just pick the cup and put it somewhere else where it won't fall. Do you understand what I'm saying? But she was already shifting the blade somewhere else, and she was really, really, really being rude, in the presence of the boss. That very day, the boss said, I can't allow this kind of personality to work in my organization. Yes, so she was sacked. So that's probably is a problem, because right now it is, I did a statistic sometimes, and I discovered that about 80% of employers, they do not just want people who are skillful, but they also want people who have good work ethic. That's one of the reasons why we are starting the seminar or the webinar with this particular thing that says developing a winning work ethic. Actually, your skill could keep you in a place, but your work ethic, how you do with work, what your disposition is to work, what you do when it comes to work, what are your behavioral patterns when it comes to getting a work done. Those are parts of the things that surprisingly employers really look at. And these are one of the things that keep people advancing in the workplace. And it will be so interesting to see the many things that would be in this particular topic. So I'll just move on. This is a relevant guide, for career success, developing a winning work ethic. And it is sometimes called business ethics. So this is very, very important if you really want to thrive in the place of work. Okay, so you might want to, let me just ask a very simple question. So if you are asked, okay, what is workplace ethic? What would your response be? What would you say? What would you say is work ethic? I know you probably might have had something like that before. You might have, read about it, or you might have studied it in your school. So if you are asked, okay, what is workplace ethic? What would your response be? Yes. So, what we just did is we had to just find a way to, give definition to every word bit by bit. So if you are to define work, you see, work is, there are a lot of definitions for work. We even have in physics, we have in, a lot of science studies what work is. Now come to the corporate world, you also have what work is. Even go to a lot of, understandings from even faith and religion, you also have what work is and all of that. So, but let's begin here. We have a work can be a physical or mental effort that is directed towards doing or making something done. Work is when you're exerting some physical or mental effort. So let me just be very, very, let me say something very funny now. Uh, I happened to be with a friend while I was in school, and we were staying together. So is this person who is physically driven? He's driven by physical activity. So he loves it when his hands is just doing something, taking this, taking that, taking everything, having to get them done and all of that. And then me, I'm really so good with mental work, having to think, having to just analyze, having to arrange, do a lot of things and just do a lot of things in my head and draw out the plans out and all of those things and see how to follow through and just have plans in my head. So so he felt, I was doing nothing. And I felt you don't understand me. So at the end of the day, work is the two. Either you exert your strength physically or you exert your strength mentally. So, and this particular understanding, the interesting thing about is that this particular understanding, aggravated to the corporate world. Some organizations or some industries will think that people who are doing manufacturing jobs, who are producing something tangible and producing biscuits, producing sweets, producing rubber, producing sellotape and all that, they are the ones doing the work. But people who are sitting in the office to strategize, to analyze, to think, to draw out plans, to draw out strategies, they are not working at all. Actually, those two aspects are work. This is what we want to put across today. Those two aspects are work. Depending on the one you are doing, they are actually work. So that's why this definition says physical or mental effort directed towards doing or making something. In the end, the thing is that something is made or done. Second definition says an activity in which one exerts strength or faculties to do or perform something, usually to earn a livelihood. Aha, this will relate more to Nigerians. We like to work. I did go work. You have that kind of understanding, that kind of talk. That I did go work. I want to earn money, so to earn a livelihood. So it is called work when you do anything. So another interesting part to work is that you are paid for something, then it is work. That it is what you have done. So a paid employment, meaning that when you see employment, it means that, so there is a contractual agreement between an organization and an individual who happens to be an employee, getting into that organization to work on a platform called employment. So that means every single hour, minute, second, moment is spent at work, in alignment with their policies and terms is worth to be paid. That is, it deserves to be paid. A profession, occupation, or a trade that is done it deserves to be paid. So very quickly, we just check. So what is now ethics? Ethics is an interesting topic. So we just check from the dictionary. Webster's Ninth New Collegiate Dictionary describes ethic as one, a discipline of dealing with what is good and bad, with moral duty and obligation. So this really, really has to do with that set of principles, that defines what you do to be good or bad. You see, the reason why I'm going through these basics is so that we get to appreciate the reason why we have morals within us. Because a lot of people don't take cognizance of the fact that we are human beings and we have morals in us. We have the way we think and see things. And let me just paint the big picture to you. The way you see things affects the productivity of an organization. Oh, that is from point 1 to point 10. Let me give the in-betweens from 2 to 9. So what I mean is the way you think affects how you come to work every day, affects how you handle a deliverable, affects how you relate with your boss and with other colleagues of the organization. In fact, it affects how you deal with your customers. It affects, at the end of the day, how the daily productivity of that organization would be. So just like one finger would be paining you, and you would feel the pain in the whole part of your body. It's the way just one person in the organization can be somehow, and then it is affecting the whole productivity of the organization. So this is why ethics is important. Ethics is an integral part of a man that you can't do away with. It's like it's inseparable. So the third definition says it is a principle of conduct governing an individual or group. So you can't run away from ethics. You can't run away from how you behave. You can't run away from how you are behaving, because that is the way you see things. That is the way you have decided to view things. So what will we now say work ethics is, okay, or workplace ethics? So workplace ethics now says it is a set of immoral principles or values that an employee abides by and uses in their job performance. That is, it covers an employee's behavior and attitude towards their job, career, and the workplace. So work ethics is in the workplace is even more significant as it directly impacts the job's quality or output. You see, I've already talked about something like this. See, imagine somebody who does not have a good relationship with his colleague at work. See, let me even make something very, very clear and maybe explicit to us. Do you know that when you start working, the major productive part of your day is spent at work. We call it 9 to 5. We call it 8 to 5. Sometimes it is 7 to 9 p.m. So the truth is that the major part of or your productive part of the day is spent at work. And sometimes you go to that work Monday to Friday, maybe because of remote work. Sometimes it's 3 times a week, sometimes 4 times a week, but sometimes it is 7 days a week, and all of that, or 6 days, Monday to Saturday. The point I'm making is that since you spend your productive day at work, do you know that it will affect you if, imagine, imagine Daniel and Lena, you are staff, the same, you work in the same organization, right? Maybe you work in the same organization and you are in the same office, but every day, Lena and Daniel are beefing themselves and they are not going along with themselves. Do you know that it will affect the output of your company? Let's call your company Madig Limited. So Madig Limited will be in trouble because the two key persons in that department are at loggerheads all of the time. So Daniel comes in, he doesn't greet Nina. Nina is also beefing Daniel because something happened. Daniel is too proud or something. And so at the end of the day, in that your department, you need to send something to another department. But because you won't agree, so you can't even agree to work on the normal work that should be done. Don't forget that there are scales. the two of you might have the skills, you might have the know-how to get the job done. But because ethic is an integral part of a man, that is, it affects even your emotions. So you might not want to sit down with Daniel to do the work with Daniel because you're not happy with Daniel. Do you get that kind of thing? Even though you have the skill to do it. So this is what I'm talking about. Work ethics in the workplace is significant because it impacts the job's quality and output. And so I'm not just saying, maybe because Nina is not happy with Daniel. It also has to do with what really is informing the way you do things. That is most importantly as a person. So why can't you overlook some things, that is happening and just go on with work and make work work? Do you understand what I'm saying? So next one says, when a person has respect for the work and the place, they naturally become more productive. That is, they use the company resources, value time to show better performance levels, and they drive the company towards success. So interestingly, we see what workplace is. So now we just quickly go into, okay, so you might want to just keep asking, wait, what are those characters? What are those things form that would form winning working ethics? What are those kind of behaviors? What are those kind of characters that will make sure that I have a very good work ethic and all of that? What are those characters that would make it work? What are those characters that will make it work? Number one is appearance. Number one is appearance. So we have a whole lot of them. Appearance, display proper dressing, proper grooming, your hygiene and manners. So I'll just be quick about all of this. You see, we know about the rule that says you are addressed the way you are dressed. That is your appearance, how you show up in a place. Let me give you an instance. So there was one day I was going to, I was in the morning, I had to just take a bike to get to quickly, catch up an appointment. So while I was on the bike, I just had to quickly rush because I was running late. So I think it was church or something. So I was running late, but then I just jumped on the bike and I was moving. And then the next thing that happened was someone just stopped the bike and said, oh, she wants to, come in and all of that. And then what happened was this person got on the bike and started telling me some things. So she said, normally, okay, while she was even speaking with the bike man, the man doesn't want to accept whatever she was offering. And then I begged the bike man, he allowed her. So she hopped in the bike. So we're going together. And then she started saying that normally she doesn't take a bike with two persons already. Then she said, well, she's running late too. Then the third one, she was like, she looked at me and I was well dressed. So she felt safe to come into the bike. So this is just a normal, example that is just really, really small and all of that, just not, consequential and all that. But it makes a lot of sense so that somebody could walk up to you because of the way you are dressed. So imagine you are a frontliner, a customer service agent in a place, and you guys are five in a place, and then a customer walks in and sees the way you dress and say, no, I want to go and meet the other person. Do you understand? So it is not even alone what you think within that happens, because at the end of the day, we know of this particular popular word in the Bible, in the faith world, that says out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Also, the body does. It is what you have in your heart that you will do at the end of the day. So it is what is the abundance of your mind that you will do at the end of the day. You will dress the way you picture yourself. So at work, if you're working in a place, picture yourself in that regard and dress in that manner. Dress in that manner. Your hygiene, the way you take care of yourself too matters. So there is a proper grooming. Funny enough, while I was in school, I began to learn how to put on tie. I mean, how to not tie, how to dress like a professional, I wear suits to class in the sun. People look at me and say, why are you like this? But it is a way to just help me, to help my mind, to help everything, just to make sure that I am dressing the way I want to be addressed. So the next part is communication. Communication is also one very good part, a character that helps us to stay in a workplace. So that is, it says under it, it says display proper verbal and non-verbal skills. That is, a lot of people write many things in their CVs. Communication skill, I can write well in oral manner and written manner. So when it comes to, oh yeah, write a mail to your to your HR, say that you might not be available for so time, or write a mail to the HR, or write a mail to somebody, to your MD, that this project is running and you want to feature in it and all of that. They can't write. They can't even communicate with another person. It is very important that, because the truth is that the way you speak with people in the organization, the way you speak, the kind of language you use to your boss, the kind of language you use to other people working with you, it matters a lot. Communication is that aspect that before anything dies, eh, before any relationship dies, it is communication that dies first. In fact, before any termination of appointment in an organization, from the employer to the employee, most of the time it is communication that dies first. I'll tell you why. Because it is communication that makes you understand yourself. Then the other part is true. It is communication that also determines if you don't understand yourselves. So that means, and communication emanates from what you have in your mind. What are those things that you fill yourself with? How are you grooming yourself to learn how to listen? Somebody is speaking in the organization or in your office. This part we don't talk about it, but if you notice these days, it is attitudinal. It is, like I said earlier, 80% of employers are looking for attitudinal qualifications in employees more than even the skill and all of that. So it is very, very important. How do you do active listening? All of these, if we pick on them, in fact, there are specific trainings on them that maybe you have a scholarship for GA to do those trainings for us, so we can we can all learn how to do it better. So in a nutshell, communication is important. You need to do active listening to people, understand what is being said, and do them accordingly. Next thing, we have cooperation. Like we said, ethics is that behavior, that attitude you are putting to work. How do you cooperate with other people? How do you show your interest, your leadership skill? How do you display it? How do you maintain relationship with people? How do you follow command? How do you want to show that, oh, you are part of this? Cooperation and teamwork goes hand in hand. How do you show that you are respectful, you understand the rights of others? There's something called being assertive. There's also something called being aggressive. There's a thin line between assertiveness and being aggressive. So you are assertive means that, oh, you are actually you are sure about the opinion that you have. Okay, you are saying what is on your mind. You are exerting that particular point, but not at the expense of somebody's personality. You're not saying to pull anybody down. You are trying to consider the next person while you are saying your opinion. That is being assertive. Being aggressive is you have your opinion and you are making sure the other person's opinion goes down to bring your own up. So teamwork doesn't work that way. Teamwork is you are being an helpful person. You are showing that everybody can work together. You are understanding that, and you are also being, you are not shifting blame like that lady that I said in the first example. You are not shifting things. You are showing that you can help. You be the first to show that you can help every other person. Make sure nothing gets stalled where you are and all of that. Then you also seek continuous learning. So next one says respect. How do you respect other people? How do you respect your boss's time? When it comes to getting to work on time. How do you respect every other person? Sometimes when you get to the organization, you meet different kind of persons. You meet people who have different backgrounds. They understand differently. Some people are academically different. One has high exposure, one has no exposure. One has different interests, another person has different interests. How do you join these people? How do you understand? How do you tolerate? That's respect. In fact, Someone once said that you move beyond respecting and forgiving to forbearance because, like I said earlier, you spend the most productive time of your day in the office. So you must forbear. A lot of people will annoy you, offend you, do things to offend you, but respect them. Respect them. The organizations saw that they are also good. That was why they employed them. So respect them. Productivity is also a very good character that allows you to, have a good work or a winning work ethic. These things that I'm talking about, they will even make you stay in an organization. Yes, I'm not saying don't have other skills that you need to use. You need to have skill. They will take you up the ladder. But without good attitude, you might not stay long. The good attitude will make you stay long with the skills. So, productivity, how do you follow safety practices? How do you conserve your resources? How do you manage your time? How do you follow instruction? And all of that. They help you to, these are helpful characters. So we are moving on to the last part. So your attitude, your overall attitude. Are you the first person that when they say, let's do this, you're the first person to say, no, it can't work? Or no, it will not go happen. I can't even kill myself. This one, at all, at all. Are you that person who say that all the time? It's not good. It's not good. So you have to appear confident as well. Appear confident. Uh, don't lie, but appear confident. This is what assertiveness means. You're confident. You're sure what you're saying. Show that just show that you want to do something. That is what it means. Appear confident. Read it in this way I'm saying it. That show that you want to get something done. Be confident about that attitude. Have a true hope of self. Oh, exactly. Have a true hope of self. So next one says organizational skill. How are you helpful in managing things, managing, doing administration? How are you able to gather people together? And how do you prioritize your schedules, and all of that? How do you, something would cause a change, and all of that. But how do you accept change? How do you do a lot of things? How do you make sure? Because if I give you a lot of instances, there are sometimes that some things will come up at work that you, it's a serious change, but you have to fall in. That is it. A good attitude and a good organizational skill will show that, oh, this person has good work ethics. So if you can adapt to it quickly. So the last part says attendance. Attendance and attendance and character. So how do you attend meeting? How do you arrive early or late? How do you tell, you won't be available in a place? How do you keep that communication? How do you tell them that you won't be available here, or I won't be available in this place? Or how do you give people alternatives so that nothing gets spoiled? How do you just take ownership of things? That's what it means. And how do you make up for a task that you did not do? How do you make up for it promptly? Your character as well. What's your overall character? Are you somebody that when you come, they're like, Daniel, what's the deal? Don't come again. I don't know why Daniel is coming to my mouth, but are you that kind of person that when you come, they're just like, you don't come? What's your body language all the time? So this is one very simple question. What winning work ethic character do you know you currently lack and would readily want to imbibe? So this is the last part of this slide. So because we need to move to the next aspect. So how do you now? Yes, having mentioned the things that you need, your the characters that you should portray, the attitude, the kind of way you should do things, and all that. Yes. So how do you build it? How do you build it? This is a mind thing. I am aware and I understand. Because you are in Nigeria, you are a winner. Because you are in Nigeria, you are a winner. Why did I say that? I said that because a lot of things happens. You have to wake up early for some things. You have some backgrounds that are not really okay. You want to change them, and all of that. Exposures are different. Some things you don't want to, the way you just experience some things that you see other people in other countries are not experiencing that, the comfort and all of that. Yes, we know that those things are issues in this place. But the thing is that you need to work on yourself. It is only a coward, okay? It is only a coward that would see a change that would affect him positively and not go into it and begin to hold the past, and say, because of my background, it was because of the way I grew up, it was because of the environment I was in, it was because of the things that was happening to me. That was why I could not achieve this, and you will hardly see most people doing career talking about this attitude thing, because at the end of the day, you see that most companies are having high turnovers because people have skill but no attitude. So now, how do you build your winning work ethics? It begins with you. It begins with you. So do not live your life to chance. It begins with you. You can live your life in such a way that you would see, result is predictable. You can sit down now and predict what you want your life to say in the year 2030. The missing link between now and the life you want in 2030 is your decision. So you might resume the earth looking like your parents, looking like what the environment has made you. But you will advance in life looking like your decisions, because it is your decisions that will make you what you are actually. So we have this arrow. You can see the arrow on your screen. It says you need feedback, you need self-assessment, then you also need decision. You get? So you need to, at every point in time, ask yourself, what do other people think about me? And this is an evaluation to be making when you are around people. How do other people describe my character when I'm not there? All those that they talk behind my back and you want to fight. It's better not to fight, though. It's better to really hear and know if you should change or not. Okay. Then you also do your self-assessment. You're like, how do I think I behave? How do I do? Okay, when they give me assignments in school, how do I do the assignments? How do I behave with my lecturers? Or even as I'm serving, even as I've started working now, how do I behave with other staff? What do I believe is my character? Am I angry? Am I an easygoing person? Am I always cranky? Am I always happy? Am I always smiling at people? Am I always annoyed and all of that? Then you now decide, what do you want to be? Now the balance here is that not that people will decide what you want to be, but when you are looking at, if many people are saying the same thing about you, it's now left for you to evaluate yourself and say, it's like some things are not good about the way I do things. So I must find a way to change. So that means you yourself must now decide not to please men, actually, but to be a better person, even in your chosen career, in your chosen place, in your chosen entrepreneurship work or journey in this life. And this is actually where we are going to put an end to this. But before then, I have an interesting place for you. So this is your choice. So you said, I've made a choice to become this. So therefore, I am this. Now, this is what I did to myself. I told myself, despite whatever it is that is happening to me, I have made the choice to become dependable. So you can pick a word that works for you. I have made a choice to become dependable. So anywhere, the thing about me is anywhere you find me, you can depend on me for something to be done in that my line of career. You can depend on me. Therefore, I am dependable. So can that be spoken of you, of you, of you, of you, of you? Are you somebody that when they give a task to do, they can't depend that it will be done? Or your boss can't say, no, this thing will be done and all of that. Or your boss can't, just, be very optimistic that something will be done about it. So be dependable. That's my own. So find yours. Find yours. So we are rounding off. This is just to conclude all of this talk that has been done. Without a doubt, through careful self-evaluation accompanied by the decision to attain career success, see, an excellent work ethic brings a whole lot of positive change in the level of output, performance, and quality on your job. And not just that, on other aspects of your life. So the point is, you might not be so great every morning, waking up to go to work and all of that. It might not happen like that, that you are always full of energy, but you can leverage on some of these tips that has been shared. This attitude, your character, punctuality, teamwork, cooperation, respect. Just leverage on them. They'll always be giving you supply of energy as you choose to get better, even in your own business or in the work that you do. So organizations also have a role to play in all of this attitude and all of that. Yes, the company has a role to play as well. Now, since you got employed in an organization, there is a contractual agreement between you, being the staff or employee, and the employer. So that means there must be some policies that binds your relationship. So there must be some norms, acceptable way of behavior that binds your relationship in that organization. So this is one of the basic things that will happen. So they integrate you into the system. So you get to know, these are the things that are allowed here. You can come so time, and you are given the grace of so time to be late, all those kind of things. So these are the acceptable, and most of the time these acceptable behaviors are drawn from the ethical background of the organization. Remember, one part of work ethics means the acceptable way an organization or an association behave or do things. Whatever informs the way they operate is also a work ethic. So that is one way that an organization does to make sure that everybody in the organization understands the acceptable behaviors here. Don't come and smoke in our building. Some organizations have that as a work ethic principle. So apart from that, there are now some maybe meetings, some other meetings that are called, maybe some evaluation period. Maybe every 3 months, there are some seminars done, some work ethics seminar that are done. So I'll put them into two. There are some official and some unofficial way of doing that. Official way is to probably set up a seminar, set up a meeting, set up all of those things, maybe once a month or 3 times in a year and all of that, to make sure that everybody is being reminded of how they should behave at work. The unofficial way is maybe your line manager keeps telling you some tips on how to behave. Do you get that kind of thing? Or your colleague keep telling you how to behave and all of that. So definitely organizations have role to play. Yes, but then it begins from you. You also have a role to play. Thank you so very much for listening to this part. So now, so we are going to have the next session.
Thanks, Maybe. Let me just get on it. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Sir.
Amazing one. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you've been having a great time. Thank you once again for joining us. We're happy to have you here. This is Global Analyst Academy, and we've had one of our program managers share with you earlier on, talking about work ethics, and I know that you learned a lot of things from there. My name is Akinwande Akinsulire. I'm the director at Global Analyst Academy. You can hit me up on LinkedIn. Just search for Akin Akinsulire. I'll be happy to connect with you. Global Analyst Academy has been around since 2017 when we launched the first program. And since then, we've been supporting a lot of young and emerging professionals across different sectors. There's a program that we do. It's a flagship program, the mini MBA. We've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've done the 14th cohort of the mini MBA program. So what we do most of the time now is to deliver it to organizations that want us to deliver it for their analysts. So we do customized version for their analysts and all that. But we have a program called the entry-level analyst program that is for young professionals, like yourself, that could be of immense benefit to you. So if you visit our website, someone can help with the link of the website in the chat session. you'll be probably able to get additional information on that. So this career webinar is just an idea from some of our team members to provide direct support to young career professionals on their path to actually achieving success in life. And it's totally free. It's an info session, and the whole idea is to share thoughts and help you appreciate what it's like to build a career and to build a life as someone that is evolving. Yes, so I'm just going to be speaking for very few minutes. I'm going to have another session with you that's going to be extensive. So for those of you that did not maybe register, maybe you got the link from your friend or something, David could share the link where they could register for the webinar so that you can join the webinar sessions. The plan is to have the webinar sessions regularly. I'm also trying to build it around a very good schedule so that it's a good time that one is around. The weekends could be very busy, but this is taking out time to really be, let me use the word, a blessing, to you people free of charge, right? So we'll work out a good schedule and we'll share with you. So what it means is that on a regular basis, you get a chance to interact with us and with other facilitators, both on our faculty at GAA and those that are not even currently our faculty, that can provide guidance to you on your career journey. One thing I want to just emphasize today is that there are a lot of opportunities in the world for people to really grow their career, but it's a function of the knowledge that you have. Yes, people talk about how there is no job. That is very correct. We have a lot of graduates, particularly in a country like Nigeria. We have a lot of graduates being churned out of the university. Unfortunately, even the universities and the polytechnics are on strike right now. The universities are on strike right now, for a very long time, but we have graduates coming out of tertiary institutions that are not able to, get good jobs. But we believe that in the midst of this, there are actually some jobs that you have to be very ready to be able to clinch. So take, for example, for about 2 months now, right, have been trying to hire for a role of program associate. So I want to hire for a program manager and for a program associate. And it's been a lot of headache. Is it that there hasn't been applications? Yes, there has been, a lot of application, a lot of interviews that have taken place up to Thursday. I still had interview with a potential program associate, but the challenge is that a lot of people don't have the combination of the technical skills that you want and the soft skills that you're also looking for, because it's not just about having the technical skills. So technical skills meaning that you have the ability to get the job done, the particular job. It's possible for you to have the technical skill. Take for example, maybe you immerse yourself into learning, you went to go and prepare, did maybe certified associate in project management course, right? Or you went ahead to do an entry-level certificate in business analysis, so you have your ACBA certificate or you have your CAPM certificate, right? And maybe you've interned somewhere and you have some experience and you're trying to get the job as a program or project associate, right? But if you don't have the right attitude, which Toby spoke a lot around when he addressed the work ethics thing. If you don't have the right attitude, if you don't have the right disposition, the right mindset, it's going to be difficult for people to have you join their team because they want the energy, they want the mindset, they want the enthusiasm that you're going to bring in on the team. And another major challenge that, young career starters also have is that the primary high is on the money. Yes, the country is tough, right? I mean, I just got off the call with a friend, based in Dubai, and we're just talking, and he was talking about how he was trying to make quotation for a project in Nigeria, and he realized what the exchange rate is now to exchange, 1 dirham for naira. It's now 180 naira to 1 dirham. I mean, in early 2020, just before the lockdown, I was still in Dubai. I exchanged dirham at that time for, 1 dirham to 97 naira. So imagine from 97 naira to 1 dirham in around March 2020. And this is July 2022. 1 dirham is 180 naira. So you can imagine how it is now. I remember then too, because, when I exchanged dollar, a dollar for 360 naira. And now a dollar is going for about 644 naira. So you can see a whole lot of economical changes that has happened and all that. So from that angle, I understand that the pressure for the money is there. But this is my advice, to as many of you that are looking for opportunity to get, entry-level opportunity, entry-level job, get into places where you can really hone and sharpen your skills. When it gets to the money matter, just leave it on the table of the company, of the organization. Let them offer you what they are set to do. Ask them, what is your fair offering? What's your budget for the role? And when you hear their budget for the role, the question you should ask yourself, please, I want you to take note of this. The question you should ask yourself is, what value can I potentially get from this organization? What are those skill sets? What are those things I'm going to learn? What networking opportunities am I going to get? By the time you look at all of the benefits that you're going to get, then compare it to the sacrifice. So I'm going to transport myself there. I'll probably, buy my lunch and all of those. By the time you do the calculations and you see that you still have some fair amount of money to retain, I will encourage you to get that opportunity. Because what you do at the early stage of your career is to prioritize the opportunity to learn, opportunity to grow, opportunity to hone your skills over every other thing. This is what is going to grant you acceleration. Let me just give you a very interesting story about my own background. I promise you, within some additional minutes, we're going to be out of here, because my hope is that we don't take more than an hour, 30 minutes at most for these sessions that we have, at hour, 30 minutes at most, so that you can also enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I started my career with a leadership institute that organizes capacity building program for leaders in Nigeria. So it's a non-for-profit organization, and they organize capacity building program for leaders. It's actually a faith-focused institute, right? It's not a faith-based, but faith-focused, institute providing leadership program for leaders, in faith. And when I look at the programs that they do, they have curriculum that are certified by, that are designed for them by international organization. And they have international facilitators come in to train these leaders. You know how some non-for-profit organization in the US and in other developed parts of the world, we come into developing nations like Nigeria, and other places in Africa to support, faith-based work by providing leadership and capacity building, and in some cases, resources for their library, and in some cases, funding for their projects and all that. So what they do is that they are at that interjection of bringing those people to provide that support. You see, when I was told about the opportunity, what excites me was the fact that first and foremost, this is a local guy that was going to be having opportunity to interact with, with white guys. That was going to be my first exposure, to white guys. That was number one. Then number two, it was going to give me opportunity to, engage people as an operation support person. So I thought of it that, hey, yes, I'm done with school, trying to go for my NYSC, but I needed opportunity to really learn about how the workplace dynamics really is. By the time I got to know all of the things I'm going to be learning, so that was number two, and number three, of course, the leaders that are going to be coming, I was going to be building building relationship with new people, who are matured, who are leaders, in their own field. So for me, that was a very good opportunity, and by the time I got to the organization and I asked them, what's the plan and all of, I was interviewed and the man really liked me. And then he said that our budget is 12,000 naira, I could have just turned it down. No. Before this time, I was already engaging in a lot of entrepreneurial work, making some money, on campus and all that. So, but again, it came strongly to my mind, the opportunities that I have. They are not for profit. They were not in Lagos. I schooled, my first degree was in Futa, Akure. So they were based in Akure, and so because of where they were, because of the things that they do, of course, they have funds that is just enough to do what they are supposed to do in terms of delivering the curriculum, then of course, managing the people that will come, providing the accommodation and all of that. So, but to cut the long story short, I took it because of the opportunities. And guess what? The first program that I ran, I had about 4 white guys, quite elderly people. The youngest of them was about 60 something. So these are white guys that volunteers in their own country. So because they volunteer, they come in, spend, part of their vacation here and all that to provide support and all that. So they are not paid for what they come to do in Nigeria. They just come to volunteer their time and, and all of that. And while serving them as the operation support person, thankfully I knew how to drive then, and I already had my driver's license. So I was the one driving them to the hotel, aside from managing, coordinating the activities, within the hall, ensuring that the microphone that was working, all of those basic things, and all of that. And I did it very well. Guess what? By the time they returned, they reached back to me. 2 of them actually reached out to me to say, Hakim, thank you so much for the support you give to us while we're in Nigeria. And one of them specifically said, Hakim, I'm going to send you a gift when your final results comes out. And then, it was time I announced that I was graduating and all of that. He sent me a brand new iPad at that time, brand new iPad at that time. It was something off the roof for me. But what resulted to that was my willingness to exert myself and learn. Story number 1. Story number 2, I finished my NYSC and did a bit of some programs, then the leadership program, then saw an opportunity to join a company. And of course, I applied, I joined them. But the thing was that to intern, it was a consulting company, right? A boutique consulting company, one of the tier 1 indigenous consulting company in Nigeria. When I joined them and I had the opportunity to learn, opportunities to learn from the basics. What does consulting mean? What does supporting business mean? What does, business writing mean? What does strategic thinking mean? All of those things from the elementary side of things. I saw that opportunity, then they tell me that, hey, we pay our interns 40,000 naira. That was supposed to be another obstacle for me to say, no, this is not going to work. How can you be on the highland and I'm living on the mainland, not just on the mainland, at that time, somewhere around the Yanopaja, if you're in Lagos, such a distance. But again, I saw the opportunity to learn. I saw the things I was going to gain and all that. Believe you me, there were times that I have to spend time to sleep at the office. I sleep at the lounge at the office. I'll take my things to spend 1 week at the office. Why? Because I had free internet at the office. So I had opportunity to use the library, to use the internet. When others are gone, I'm reading, I'm learning, I'm doing all of those things. What that was doing for me was building my capacity. So within a very short time, the 40K became, 80K to 150, 150 to 300, 300 to 450, so it just keeps going like that. So today I'm in a position where I'm not just even talking about salary, I'm talking about projects, different businesses, different organizations, and supporting different projects. If you connect with me on LinkedIn, I'm going to do a post, shortly. I was just finalizing the post before I came on the call. I'm going to do a post shortly about an opportunity. Managing that project alone, it's the lifetime dream of some professionals. Just being on it is a lifetime dream of some professionals. But for me, it's just one of those things that we're doing now as we get on the journey to come because of the capacity that I've built previously. So what I'm encouraging you to do is that prioritize capacity building. Someone can be paying you for 300K to start with, and all you just do is you just sit in the office, you receive call, you send email, but he's paying you 300K. I say, no, I have a friend. He's earning 300K. Or I have a friend. He's in so bank. He's just posting credit and debiting and all of that. And they're paying. You see, where you don't acquire quality skills and they are paying you money, they are just mortgaging your career. They're mortgaging your career success. They're mortgaging your career prospects. What you should focus on at this time is actually learning skills, business writing, effective business writing. How do I communicate my thoughts in a logical, in a structural, grammatically correct manner, in an engaging manner? How do I do presentation in such a way that I can captivate my audience, and they buy into the idea that I'm sharing? How do I engage stakeholders? How do I engage, senior professionals? If I get the chance to interact with the CEOs of multinationals in a room, how do I engage them effectively? So you're watching someone in the organization doing it. You're watching someone in the organization doing those things, and you're learning from them. Because you see, career path, it's about learning. It's about growing. It's about growing and learning. And the more you do, the better you become. And guess what? Whatever it is that you've learned on this journey, you can't unlearn it. That's one thing about it. Wherever you walk, the learnings you take from there, it remains with you. Forget about how difficult or how tough it could have been, but your experience remains with you. Your knowledge remains with you. And that becomes the credential that qualifies you for the next opportunity that you're going to get. I was leaving a company, when I left, one of the firms that I work for, when I left there, I was even still just waiting around, planning to register my company and all of that. Then I got a call at that time from Jobberman. I was like, oh, we can see that you've left your company and we are hoping that you can come and join us. I'm like, hey, this is interesting. I didn't have to apply to them. I didn't have to, in fact, they were reminding me that they've sent me an email before asking that I come for interview, that I ignored it and all of that. And, I was in a meeting with a professor in Ife, and right there and there, they were saying that, what do you want? What salary do you want? Making me an offer on the phone without even physically, because they've seen the profile, they've seen the things I've done, they've followed my activities, and they feel that, hey, since this guy has left this company, we better just get a hold of him. It is important that you build capacity. When people see capacity in you, they don't want to let you go. Then you can now make your ask that, Oga, you want me to do X, Y, Z? That is fine. I will do it. But I would like you to review my salary from this to this. And Oga will look at you that, okay, I don't have a choice. I have to comply because I don't want to lose a talent like you. So please, I believe that with these few words of mine, I've been able to convince you and not to confuse you that you really need to build capacity at this stage that you are in. Build capacity. Focus on learning. Don't be distracted. Yes, the money is good, but please don't be distracted. Don't be distracted. Don't allow money to distract you first. Put in your energy. put in your all, learn. If you're fortunate where you are, you're earning good, put your funds into getting certifications, into getting quality training. And what will happen at the end of the day is that you qualify yourself, to be among the few professionals that can be depended on. In this market, professionals are scarce. They are very, very scarce. I can tell you that every quarter, I get at least one request for interviews or offers. In fact, I think around last quarter last year, I had about 6 organizations reaching out to me, that, oh, there's this position with this bank, there is this, position with this consulting firm, there is this, and all these positions are top management, C-level positions across different organizations. I look at myself and I realize that what makes the difference is the effort that I put on earlier on in my career. So please put in the effort, and you can be sure that you're going to be reaping it over time. Over time, you're going to be reaping it. That by the time you even look at yourself sometimes, maybe what you even get from just consulting, or just solving problem for people, it's even more than what you're earning as a salary. It just swings at different times. You see people engaging you on projects. You see, eventually you become a consultant in your area of specialization, and you will be better off for it. So those are my words for you. Thank you so much for joining the webinar. In subsequent ones, I know that we have presentations. I have amazing team members that have put this together, and so they have presentations on some of the career opportunities you can be looking at some of the requirements to assess those opportunities and all of that. So this is really going to be evolving. So please, if you want to continually be a part of this, you can just let us know. Maybe via the chat session, you can put "I am in," so that we can note you and note your contact details on the link, and we can keep engaging you on this. So what we also want to do is I want to be able to provide like a help desk. This was Toby's idea, that we should provide a help desk where those that actually want to get career advice can reach out and get career advice, which is very cool. And we're doing all of this for free, just to support as many young people that want to build their career or that want to grow their career. So thank you very much for listening. It's a pleasure speaking with you. I would like to just take your feedback. Anyone wants to share feedback before we call it a day? Yeah, I like the summary that I'm seeing in the chat. Thank you, Zainab. Yeah, can see that Joy has also summarized some part. That's good. And I can see Freddie taking notes. Fantastic. Oh, okay, great. Awesome. Thank you, Teresa. Okay, that's good. So what we'll do is we're building a community. Oh, okay. Yours is Balogun Matthew. Okay, Zainab is your boss. Okay. That's completely understandable. So please note Balogun Matthew, for the subsequent session. That's awesome. So what will happen is that the team will communicate to you via email. Fantastic. That's great. They communicate to you via email, and if you also have some friends that are in your category, and you think that this will be very useful for them, we encourage that you also share that link with them so that they can also register and be a part of this. What I've done over actively, I've been doing what we are doing now since 2016. Since 2016 when I started to, let's say 2015, when I started to engage core members actively, either core members that I supervise at work or those that come to intern in my organization and all that, it's this. I provide support to them, helping them navigate the career path. And I can boldly say that, some of the core members, some of the, the young career guys of those days, they are now guys that are earning, 300K, 500K, 600K, 700K today. I mean, if you're earning 700K in today's economy, you're a big boy, And I mean, I have like two of them that are on that salary card. And these are guys that graduated from school, just in 2015. So again, what you need is advice. What you need is counsel. What you need is, to be enlightened, and you will see that it is easier to navigate the career path and make a success out of it. So thank you everyone once again. Really appreciate your coming, and we hope to see you in subsequent session. From my hand now, it's bye for now. So over to you, Toby. Thank you, guys.
All right. So thank you. That's my wonderful boss that's given a lot of details, and we are really inspired. I always get inspired by stories, about them so many times and all of that. So it's very good to hear that again now, and I'm very sure that we have been impacted by a lot of things. I can see all of those things going on through the chat. So thank you all for joining in.